What's up, guys? Zach Scriven here. Thanks for tuning into the stream, or if you're watching this after the fact, thank you for watching. If you're new around here, welcome to the Scriven Squad. Make sure to get subscribed and turn on notifications to catch me in all my future videos. But in today's video, I'm super stoked because I have another opportunity to do a Rockwell training video for you guys. A lot of people liked the Plant PAX video that I did. And so today we're taking it back to the basics. We're doing FactoryTalk View Side Edition Introductory Lab. This may be a bit of an overview if you guys are already familiar with FactoryTalk View SE, but I think it's important for those of you who aren't, or just getting started, or maybe want to refresh your skill set on these courses. So without any further ado, and thank you again to Rockwell for supporting me in this cause. I really do appreciate you guys letting me do this. So without any further ado, let's get right into what this course is going to cover. So this is the PDF, and this is the contents. So exercise 1, explore FactoryTalk View. It's version 8.1, but it should be pretty similar to 9. I know there are a lot of changes in 10, but a lot of these principles should still be relevant. Exercise 2, we're going to create an application. Exercise 3, we're going to create HMI displays, import HMI displays. Exercise 4, we're going to create display objects. Exercise 5, we're going to animate the display objects. Exercise 6, we're going to create trends. Exercise 7, we're going to create a FactoryTalk View SE client. Exercise 8, did I say exercise 7? Exercise 8, configure alarms. Exercise 9, using FactoryTalk Viewpoint with FactoryTalk View SE. And that's going to be it. So in the comment section, I'm going to pin as the top comment a table of timestamps. So if you want to jump to just a particular section, you guys can do that via the comment in the link down below. So just keep in mind that I am doing this live, and this is actually the first time that I'm going through this. So some of this will be new to me, some of this will be a refresher. So just bear with me if I'm not able to figure something out. That's probably why. I'll do my best, and if I do have to move on, I will come back and get back in a comment with whatever I wasn't able to do, how to specifically do it, or maybe a follow-up video. But I think this training module should be pretty straightforward, so let's see. Was there anything else I was going to do? Yeah, if you guys can think of any comments, I'd love to read your comments down in the section below, and let me know if you guys found value in this, and let's get started. So what we will accomplish in this lab, we already kind of talked about that. So these are the softwares that it uses. These are the lab files. Exercise 1, explore FactoryTalk View 8.1 runtime. Mighty Q's Cookie Factory, 10 minutes. Objectives. In this exercise, you will complete the following tasks. Launch the FactoryTalk View SE client. Navigate between existing HMI displays. View the FactoryTalk Alarm and Events Alarm Viewer. Why this is important. As a potential application developer, it is important to understand how the end user will interact with the developed application. Operators, engineers, administrators, and maintenance staff may all use the same application to interact with a working system. Interface design is important for operational efficiency and effectiveness. Exploring the sample application will also give the lab participant a better understanding of what the end goal of the overall hands-on lab session. Lab procedure. This lab exercise makes the use of previously configured FactoryTalk View SE application. The application is a simulation of an entire cookie production site. Production from batching to packaging is included in the sample application. The application is referred to as Mighty Q's Cookies, or just cookies. So first step, navigate to the class files in the Windows Explorer. The class files is located at C Lab Files, FT View SE Intro Lab, and double click on the FactoryTalk View SE client launcher named Full Cookie Demo. So let's dive in there. And if you guys, so this is a VM instance that I'm in. It's cloud hosted by Rockwell. So definitely reach out to them if you wanted to get this VM instance and get these lab files. I'll check and see if I can put a link to download these yourself if you have your own environment already, like with FactoryTalk View. But I don't know if I can or not. So we'll see what we can do. So let's go into lab files. Open. Full cookie demo. Let's open it up. But it is nice to kind of have this environment already all set up. So all right, while that's opening up, let's go check out what else we can do. This will cause a small pop-up to display with a double progress bar to appear. The progress bar will take a few seconds to finish. With the FactoryTalk View SE client open, you should be able to see the following screen. The MightyQ Cookie HMI demo is comprised of two main screen areas. The first area is the top banner. This screen area is always on display and is for general system-wide information and navigation. Typically, the banner area is used for alarm information, time display, navigation, and application identification. The far left icon in the shape of the three horizontal bars will call a drop-down list. This drop-down list contains a historical navigation view. So here we should see the drop-down list. We haven't navigated, so let's do a couple navigations. And this should show us that history. So we can, dive into something. Let's see, overview. Click on these silos. See if we can click on a tank. It's not clickable. And then we have all the navigation history right there. The final bottom screen area is production display. This area of the HMI changes based on how the user navigates between displays. Clicking on a production section name, example cooling or case packer, on the navigation banner will show a display with information specific to that area of the production. Replacing the previous production display. The display shown below is for plant-wide overview. Move the mouse cursor over the top of the 4 silo level indicators in the top right portion of the screen. We're going to go back to the overview. Click on this. Notice the appearance of a black border around the entire silo level indicator group. Tip: objects that have a click action will be indicated with a bold border that appears when the mouse cursor is moved over that object. The action that occurs when an object is clicked depends on the touch animation set for that display object. We'll learn more about animations in a later exercise. Click on the silo group indicators. The resulting material storage display is shown. Here's our material storage display. I'm going to hide this, auto-hide this taskbar. Okay, there we go. Now we can see the whole thing. So is that the same screen that we're on right now? Yes. Click on the mixer text in the navigation banner. The resulting mixer display is shown. The mixers. Click on the mixer mode select switch. The selector switch will change from auto to semi-auto or vice versa. You can drop it in semi-auto, auto, semi-auto, start. Click on the alarm text in the navigation banner. The alarm display will be shown. So here we have the alarm display. From here you can see the alarm summary display object in the bottom area of the display. Alarm functionality will be discussed in greater detail in a later exercise. Close the display client by clicking the X in the top right corner of the window. This concludes exercise 1. So this is really just getting our our feet wet. Exercise 2. Create an application, 10 minutes. Objectives. In this exercise, you will complete the following tasks. Create a new FactoryTalk View SE local station application. Create an RS Links enterprise data server. Create a device shortcut to a PLC or programmable logic controller. Why it's important. The FactoryTalk application is a container for all the necessary functions of a full HMI control environment. Creating the application is the first step to building an HMI project. A FactoryTalk application typically contains the following resources: area containers, useful for larger site-wide applications, HMI projects, data providers, and alarm servers. Data servers provide the application with the process information. Typically, data servers are connections to PLCs and PACs, but third-party OPC data providers can connect to a multitude of data sources. Lab procedure. In this exercise, you will use the FactoryTalk View SE Studio HMI development environment. Launch the FactoryTalk View Studio program. This can be done from the Start menu under Start, All Programs, Rockwell Software, FactoryTalk View, FactoryTalk View Studio. Start, All Programs, Rockwell Software, FactoryTalk View, FactoryTalk View Studio. When prompted to select an application type, let's choose View Site Edition Local Station. Hit Continue. When the new Open Site Edition Local Station application pop-up is shown, select the New tab in the top left corner, and in the resulting New Application tab, type Cookie Demo as the application name and click Create button at the bottom left of the pop-up. These are very detailed instructions. I really like how they have A, B, C, like New Application Name, Cookie Demo, right? Hit OK. Create. An Add Controller Instruction faceplate pop-up will be displayed. Click the Clear All button and then click OK. For this introduction application, we will not use any of the controller instruction faceplates. Clear all. OK. Going too fast for it. All right, let's see. In a second here. I think on the first time you create a new project, it kind of has to build the hierarchy, so it takes a little bit longer the first time. So clear all. We're not going to import any of these default faceplates. Hit OK. At this point, you should be able to observe the FactoryTalk View Studio main window. The window contains an Explorer pane, as seen on the left, and the Editor pane. The content of the Editor pane depends on what is selected from the Explorer pane. Looking closer at the Explorer pane, you can see the application and HMI project that have been created. So here's the application. Here's the HMI project. Application, HMI project. Okay, so here's our application again. Here's our HMI project. And under the application, we could add new data server, OPC server, or alarm and event server, or a new application too. So tip, local station applications versus network applications can only have HMI and data servers on the same computer. The HMI server is named the same as our application name and automatically created. In a network application, the HMI project must be created manually and may be named differently than the application. Good to know, I didn't know that. Right-click on the application, Cookie Demo, in the Explorer pane and click Add New Server from the resulting menu. In the displayed menu, choose Rockwell Automation Device Server RS Links Enterprise. So up at this, just under local, this secondary root node, the application, not the HMI server, Click on that, add new server, RS Links Enterprise. In the RS Links Enterprise Server Properties window, click on the Alarm and Event tab, check Enable Alarm and Event Support checkbox, uncheck Enable History, click OK. Enable Alarm and Event, disable History, hit OK. In the Explorer pane, expand the newly created RS Links Enterprise Data Server object and double-click on the Communications Setup option. In the Device Shortcut Editor pane, complete the following tasks. Click on the Add button, type in the name Cookie Line. In the device tree on the right, browse to the 1789A17 backplane object and select the race_cookie line softlogics processor. Add. Name this. I'm going to remove it. Add cookie line. Drill into the softlogics processor. In the bottom area, click on the alarm and events and enable selection and pick yes. Click on apply. So we're going to add cookie line, select this processor, enable alarm and events, hit apply. Enable alarm and events, hit apply. Yes, and the old path is empty and the new path is backplane.race_cookie line. So basically this is like an access name. This is how when you're tagging your screens, this access device shortcut access path will take you to this processor. So it's like an alias for the server, the data server, the way I describe it. In the resulting pop-up window, click yes. This concludes exercise 2. Yeah, we did it. Exercise 2 done. Exercise 3. Create HMI displays. Import HMI displays. This section should take 20 minutes. Objectives. In this exercise, you will complete the following tasks. Create a header display. Create an overview display. Add a previously developed cooling line display. And create an alarm display. Why it's important. A graphic display represents the operator's view of plant activity. The display can show system or process data and provide operators with a way to read values from or write values to external devices such as PLCs. Lab procedure. Create the header display. This display will be used for status and navigation information. Unlike the other displays, this display is intended to be always-on display and will be configured to be displayed at the top of the screen. In the Explorer pane of the FactoryTalk View Studio, right-click on the Displays object in the Graphics folder within the Cookie HMI project. Select the new to create a display. Graphic Displays, New. Under the Cookie demo, Graphics, Displays, right-click, New. A new Untitled display will be opened in the editor pane. This new display will become the header display. In the next steps, the properties of the display will be edited to allow the header to show up at the correct spot in the HMI client. Edit the properties of this display by right-clicking on an open area of the display. From the right-click menu, click Display Settings. Make the following changes to the display settings. A. Uncheck title bar appearance. This should also gray out the system menu and minimize buttons checkbox. B. Specify the size in pixels. Set the width and height to 1280 by 150. Specify the position in pixels to 0, 0. Similar to this. 0, 0. Choose a preferred background color by clicking on the white square. I like this light gray color. Track screen for navigation. Uncheck the box for track screen for navigation. Makes sense, right? It's always going to be on. And then hit OK. Click OK to finalize screen changes. You should see the display resize and change background color. In later exercises, we will add items to that display. Okay. Close this display. Tip: make sure that you are closing the display editor, not the entire studio environment. This is the inner close icon, not the outer close icon. So this is the one that we're going to close here, not that one. So this will actually close that display. It'll ask if we want to change. And in the save prompt, we want to type the name header into the component name text area. Okay. Opening an existing display. After one or more displays have been created, the display object in the Explorer pane will have a plus icon to the left, indicating that it has contained items. Expand the container and observe the newly created header display. Displays can be launched by double-clicking on the name of the display or by right-clicking on each display name and selecting Open. Other operations related to displays like delete or rename can also be executed from the right-click menu. Double-click on Drill Open. Double-click to open. There's our header. Close it. Or we can right click, delete, remove, rename, duplicate. Close the header display. Create the overview display. This display will be used for the starting display in the bottom part of the client interface. It contains a picture of the entire production line. The overview display will be configured to be displayed at the lower part of the screen. Right-click on the display's object in the Explorer pane and create a new display. Refer to step 1 of this exercise if necessary. Right-click on the open display and choose display settings. Right-click, new, right-click, display settings. Make the following changes to the new display settings. Refer to this, uncheck title bar. Select size to main window at runtime. We're going to specify 1280 by 750. What the heck? Why is this? Check the size to main window at runtime checkbox. Uncheck title bar appearance. Why is it not allowing me to? Is my num lock on? All right, we're gonna hold off on that one. Don't know why. See, it's working right here. Background color. Use this gray. Try that again. See if we could change this now. 1280. There we go. 1280 by 720. 750. Weird, it doesn't like being changed after. Okay. And what's cool about that, what's cool about these windows is you see you can kind of resize it, and you're not actually resizing the window itself. You're just resizing your editor window. And this line right here is actually your true window. So if you go smaller than that, you should get scroll bars. So if you wanted to have multiple displays, I believe even in version 10, you can even undock these. And I mean, you can undock this right here. So, but I think you could even more so have better multi-monitor support. And then you can also go full screen and puts it up here. All right, so within the new display, with the new display still open, right-click on the images container in the Explorer pane, select Add Component into Application menu option. Browse to see lab files. All right, let's add a component. Right-click Images, Add Component into Application. We're going to browse to Lab Files, FTView SC Intro Lab Images. See Lab Files, Images. We're going to select the background one overview 1280 by 1024 BMP. Click Open. Return to the newly created display, and from the top menu strip, select Objects, Drawing, Image. Why don't I see the objects? So I'm not seeing objects up here, so let me open up the toolbars. That be alignment? No. The top menu of the FactoryTalk View Studio is called the menu bar. It changes based on the HMI element you have open and in focus. If you don't see the objects menu, make sure you have a display object open for editing. There we go. See, when I clicked on the display, it went away. So when you click over here, see how it kind of goes away? Click on the display, objects, drawing, image. Move your mouse cursor over the open display. The mouse cursor has changed to include the word image in the tiny letters on the bottom right of the cursor. Left click and drag a rectangle of any size on the display. When the mouse button is released from the previous step, an image browser window opens. Select the background 01 overview image we imported in the previous step and select OK. The image has been put on the display, but it needs to be in the right spot not to have any blank space on the display. The properties of this image can be modified to put the object in an exact spot. Right-click on the image object in the display editor and select Properties. Right-click, Properties. In the Image Properties windows, switch to the Common tab. In the Common tab, set both the X and Y position to 0, then select OK. Okay. The image should be displayed in the top left corner. Right-click on the image object and select Convert to Wallpaper. This function makes the image part of the background of the display. When the object is in the background, all other objects by default placed on top of this object. Didn't know that was the thing that you could do. Close the display and save it as overview. Close. Yes. Overview. Okay. Adding a previously created display. There may be times when displays will be used across multiple applications. In this case, being able to add existing displays allows previously created displays to be easily reused. The cooling display for this Cookie Factory application will be imported from an external file. The cooling display is specific to an area of the Cookie Factory. and contains information objects to display information relevant to that area. In future exercises, additional trends and animations will be added to this display. Some functionality has already been included on this display. Right-click on the display's container from within the Explorer pane and select Add Component into Application. Add the component into the project. In the Add Component into Project window, navigate to C Lab Files, FTView SE Intro Lab Cooling GFX. Hit Open. Open the newly added cooling display. You can double-click on the name or right-click and select Open. When the display opens, there's a large blue object with a white X pattern on it. This is a sign of a missing reference to an image. The background for this display will have to be added to the HMI project. Put it up. Using the same approach as earlier, add the necessary image to the HMI project by right-clicking on the images contained in the Explorer pane. Add component into project window, and this time we're adding background 5. Click Open. So right-click on images, add component into application, navigate to this one, select background 5. I mean, we could probably add all these, but just go step by step. Then we're going to add the display using the same method. So we're going to click the display, objects, drawing, image, draw it on the screen, any size, select that one, hit OK. Whoa. Then we're going to right click. Oh, now it's already there. Close the cooling display. If prompted to save the display, click yes. Reopen the cooling display and confirm the image was properly loaded. Okay, yeah, so we don't even need to add it. It's already referenced there now. So close it. Yes. Reopen. And we're good. And it's already part of the wallpaper. Create a new display. This display will be called Alarms. Right-click on the new screen and set the following properties. So right-click, new display. We're going to uncheck title bar, and we're going to size to main window at runtime. Display settings. We don't want the title bar. We want it to size to main window. We want to specify size in pixels. 1280 by 750. And we want to specify 00. And track screen for navigation is on, and we want to call it Alarms. Close the display and name it Alarms. This concludes exercise 3. Exercise 4, create display objects. Objectives. In this exercise, you will complete the following tasks. Add images to the header display. Add navigation buttons to the header display. Add static text and dynamic string displays to the cooling display. Why it's important. Basic display objects create the visual structure of the displays. They indicate what purpose graphic objects serve. Without them, an operator would have no idea what information indicator is displaying. Text and shape display objects visually organize information. Lab procedure, building the header display. The header display will have 2 icons and 3 navigation buttons added to it. When this section of the exercise is done, the header display should look like the following. Add the Rockwell Automation and Mighty Q's Cookie Co. logos to the application. We're going to add those images. So we're going to go to Images, Add Component into Application. Here we have the logos. Shift click or Control click to select them both. And we're adding those in. Add the images to the header display. The last time we added an image, it was done by using the menu bar at the top of the studio window. This time, find the image icon in the toolbox and click on it. So let's close this display. Let's open up our header. And here we should have the image icon. Drag it here. We're going to select the Rockwell logo. Trying to figure out why it's the background colors. Transparent. There we go. Much better. Right click on the resulting Rockwell logo, select Properties, and select Background Style to Transparent. Repeating steps 2 to 4 with the Mighty Q logo and move it to the far right. Here we got this one. Let's drop another image over here. This time we're going to add the Mighty Q logo. Okay. Right click, Properties, Image Back Style, Transparent. Okay. Very nice. Drop it in the right corner. Okay. Using the button tool, as seen below, create a button on the header display. Don't worry about how big the button object is for now. You can modify the size later. You can also use the menu menu by selecting Objects, Push Buttons, Button. Objects, Push Button, Button. When you click, drag, and release the cursor, the Properties window for the button object is displayed. On the button Properties window, make the following edits. Set the style to no border and uncheck the highlight when object has focus checkbox. Action tab. Type in the following for the release action. Display overview. Action. For the release action. Display overview. Up in the Appearance tab, change the fore color to white and back style to transparent. Change caption to overview, font size to 18, and click the bold font button. Background style, up appearance. Background style to transparent. Caption to overview. Size to 18. And the bold. And then finally in the Common tab, we're going to set the height to 50 and width to 100. Click OK. Now we're adding another cancel. Okay, so my mouse is still using the border, the button command. So we just got to click up here, use the cursor command, or click escape, I believe. All right, if we have the button object, if we hit escape, no, right click, or just click off the screen. The resulting button looks like the following image. Oh, we forgot to make the text color white. Or color white. Make this background color a little bit darker. All right, much better. Make 2 copies of this button object. This can be done by left clicking on the button object to select it and then pressing Ctrl C or Ctrl V. Right click and either copy or paste, or Ctrl C, Ctrl V. Ctrl C, Ctrl V. That's weird. Let's bring it up here. Control C, Control V. No, why it doesn't like doing the transparent. Copy. Paste. There we go. For the two buttons, right-click on each button and select Properties. In the Properties menu, make the following changes. For the cooling area button, we want to display cooling, and on the alarms button, we want to display alarms and change the caption text to alarms. So we're going to bring these here. We're going to paste another one. Okay. I'm going to right-click, arrange, align bottom. Actually, lay them out here first. Okay. Control click all these, arrange, align top, and arrange space horizontal. We'll space them evenly. We're going to go here, properties, action, display, what is it? Cooling. Okay. Here we're going to say properties, action, alarm, up appearance, alarms, under action, display, alarms. Okay. To align the buttons, control click them, and then drag to rubber band the threes together. The header display should have each button selected, and arrange, space horizontal, arrange, align bottom. Okay. Your header display should look like the following image. Use the menu bar and select the rectangle tool. Objects, drawing, rectangle. Alternatively, you can select the rectangle toolbox icon. Hint. Hovering your mouse cursor over any toolbox icon and you will see the purpose of that icon in the form of a yellow label. Try it out. What do we got here? Oh, the rectangle. Grab it. What are we rectangling? With the rectangle tool, drag a rectangle object onto the display. This rectangle will be used as a background for the navigation buttons. Don't worry about the exact size. These properties will be changed later. The properties window for the new rectangle object should pop up. In the rectangle properties window, make the following changes. Change the line style to none. Set the background style to gradient. Click on the back color to launch the gradient fill window. And in the gradient fill window, change the start color to a dark gray, change the end color to a light gray, and change it to a vertical shading. Line style done. Solid background, gradient, back color, going from a light gray, dark gray, vertical. Okay. That doesn't look too bad. All right, cancel. Delete. Okay. Okay, that looks pretty good. In the comment tab, we're going to change it to 50 to 1280, top to 100, left to 0. 150 by 1280. Change the height to 150. Here it says height to 50, but here it says 150. I'm going to go ahead and guess that it means 50. Otherwise, it's kind of hanging off the display at the bottom there. Let's go ahead and put 50. I think that's what. Look okay. With those properties changed, the header display should look similar to the following image. The rectangle has been drawn on top of the previously created buttons. By default, objects have a depth order based on when the object was created on the screen. Later objects are placed over previously created objects. This depth order can be indirectly changed by using bring to front, send to back options on the arrange context menu bar. Right click on the recently created rectangle and hit arrange, send to back. Right click, arrange, send to back. These buttons need to come down a little. Better. The rectangle should now be shown underneath the original navigation buttons. Close and save the header display. Building the cooling display. The cooling display has some work already completed, but needs additional functionality added. The functionality for cooling zone 1 has been finished, but the second and third cooling zones still have development work to do. Trends on the cooling display will be completed in a later exercise. The following elements will be added in this exercise. Zone 2 text label, Zone 2 status string display, total units numeric display, and optional Zone 3 text and status display. Open the cooling display from the Explorer pane. Use either the menu bar or the toolbox and select the text tool. Click and drag on the display to create a text object. To draw the text object over the top of the second cooling zone's light gray label area. Okay. So this is how you would create the text box, but part of me is like really morally against doing that because we have that text box right here. So I'm just going to grab these. I'm just going to copy them. To keep doing that up here, I don't get it. I'm just going to do the right click copy, right click paste. And we're going to put that there. Same thing with this guy, right click copy, right click paste. Click on it, right click properties. We're going to make this zone 2. Right click, copy, right click, paste for zone 3. Nice to fit in. Why do we want it the size to fit? Ugly. How that changed the font size. Whoa, where'd it go? There it goes. All right. Size 12. All right. Using tags in display objects. The next object that will be created makes use of a live PLC value. These individual PLC values are referred to as tags. A tag is essentially a reference to a process value. For example, the pressure of a holding tank, the number of parts made in a shift, etc. In FactoryTalk View Studio, tags can be referenced by themselves or used as part of a logical expression for more complex relationships. Use either the menu bar or the toolbox to select the string display tool. Using the teal area of the Zone 2 as a guide, draw a string display object over the display. Right, so that's how we would have done it, but if we want to do it here, one is the string display, so click that. Using that as a guide. I have snap to. I have snap to grid on. Okay, on the comment tab, we want to change the height to 20 by 108. Okay. In the general tab, we want to make the expression if cookie line cooling zone 2 in zone equals 1, then cooling, else idle. We want to say if tags system. I'm going to refresh. I don't see. Okay, system. Where is the cookie? We don't have any tags created yet. I really don't want to type that in. Alright, let's do it. Let's see if I can just get another tag. Oh, see, there's not even any PLC tags here. It's so weird. Alright, if I should see that PLC though. Yeah, it should. Something happened with our device shortcut when we let's go fix that because I don't want to type that in. Communications. Oh my gosh. I didn't even save it. I hit OK. Yes. Alright, we're gonna fix this real quick. Okay. Yes. Okay. Now we should be able to go back to the string display, properties. Oh, well here they already have part of it because I copied this one, but we want to go to tags, refresh. There's our cookie line. We want cookie line online. Here's our tags. Cooling zone 2 in zone. Hit OK. Notice how it formats it there perfectly for you. So there we go. So if cooling line, what is it? If cooling line zone 2 in zone equals 1, then cooling, else idle. And we want to make sure the width is 9, center. Okay. And here's showing how we can use the tag browser, which we just did. Okay. The two zones should look as follows. Right-click on the string display object that was just created and select the property panel. From the right-click menu on the property panel, click the font item and set the font to Arial Bold size 12. Common. Property panel, not property. Right-click, property panel. There we have the font, Arial font size 12. And it's already Arial bold 12 because it copied it. Using either the menu bar or the toolbox, select the Numeric Display tool. Using the Numeric Display tool, draw a numeric display where the total units indicator should be. Change the height to 20 by 60. Let's just do that real quick. So here is the numeric display. We're going to drop that right here. And again, I would just, you could do that, or I'm just going to hit cancel. I'm just going to copy this one right here below it because I want it to look the same as that one. And I don't know why it does that. Okay, paste. Bam. There it is. Okay, so now we want to using the tag browser, click the tags button, find the total parts tag. Right click, properties. We want to delete this. We just want to get that tag value. We're in here. Line parts, M total parts tag. I don't see M total parts, but I see M line. I see line total parts. I don't see M total parts. Yeah, mine looks different. It's online. Oh no, online program cooling. There we go. Program. So these are just our controller tags, and then these are our program tags. So program cooling, drill in there, and here we have M total parts. Okay. Length 5, center. Okay. Right-click on the numeric display object and select the property panel, and we want four-color, blue, and the font Arial bold 12. We already have those. The full cooling display should look like the following image. To test your display, click on the Test Display button from the toolbox. Tag values should populate on the screen, and existing trends should begin to run. Observe the screen changing and hit the Stop button. Wow. I'm not gonna lie. I've been working with FactoryTalk for quite a few months now. Did not know that that existed. I've been launching a client and testing that way. So I was not aware that they had this functionality. So good thing we're doing the training, guys. I know some of this kind of seems like redundant, like, you know, changing the top font and, you know, but they're just kind of trying to get you to go through that exercise. So I know I'm kind of skipping over some of that stuff, but I think it's definitely important to kind of go through the motions. So tag values should populate, boom, then hit the Stop button. Very nice. This concludes exercise 4. Exercise 5. Animate the display objects. Objectives. In this exercise, you will configure the background of a status indicator to change its color based on the state of a related cooling zone. Why it's important. Animations of display objects will allow for changing some properties of the display objects based on PLC tag values. The following properties of objects can be modified through animations: visibility, color, fill, position on screen, horizontal and vertical, size, width and height, rotation, touch, and more. Lab procedure. Open the cooling display from the Explorer pane. Right-click on the open space of the cooling display and select Object Explorer. The Object Explorer allows you to see grouping and arrangement of objects on a display. Selecting an object in the Object Explorer is effectively the same thing as selecting it directly on the display. This is very useful when interacting with grouped objects. Objects can be grouped together by using the menu Arrange Group option. In the Object Explorer, expand the Zone 2 group and expand the Zone 2 status group to reveal the Zone 2 animation polygon. Okay. Tip: the names of the objects are created by default as this object type as the object type with a number for the number of objects of that type created on the display. For example, string display 3, string display 4. These names can be changed using the property panel or properties window on the common tab. Very useful to have named hierarchy objects. A lot of work, but it's very useful for being able to manage the system. Right-click on the Zone 2 animation polygon and select Animation Color from the menu. The animation window will be displayed. In the Animation tab, click on the Tag button in the resulting tag browser window. Select Cookie Line Cooling Zone 2 in Zone. For this tag, you will edit animation states from their default values. In the animation window, underneath the expression area is the animation state area. Selecting a state in the left list will cause the value and line fill objects to update with the state. Edit the following states to have the correct value, line, and fill and blink settings. All right, so 0 we want goes to gray, line fill. For 1, we want black and green. A little bit lighter green. Apply. Click the apply button, then click close. Then test the display. Okay, there we go, we're idle. With the display in test mode, you should be able to see the color indicator behind the status text change from default teal color to a white or green color depending on the state the cooling zone is in. If you have time, feel free to configure the third cooling zone as well. Save and close the cooling display. This concludes exercise 5. Exercise 6. Create trends. In this exercise, you will complete the following tasks. Create trend objects on existing displays. Configure trend pens based on PLC data values. Why it's important. The trend object displays real-time data and historical data. Pens on the runtime chart represent data from the tags and expressions that you add to the trend object. The trend object provides extensive, flexible runtime control. You can add pens and toggle between isolated and non-isolated graphing. Specify unique line settings, plot one variable against another in XY plots, and print chart data. Lab procedure. The cooling display has 2 trends already configured for Zone 1. These trends will be created for the second cooling zone and, if time permits, the third. Open the cooling display if it is not already open from the previous exercise. Use the menu bar on the toolbox to select the trend object or Objects Advanced Trend. Create a trend object that is the full width and about half the height of the Zone 2 panel area. Let's open up the cooling. Got the trend object. Our objects advanced. Trend. Notice the trend controls consume some of the area of the actual plot size. There are several default trend controls that cover the usable space for the trend. Using the trend properties, we can change the way the trend appears. Tip: the FactoryTalk View SE trend object has many properties to configure. Play around with the look and feel of the trend object. In the trend properties window, make the following changes. On the general tab, change the display chart to energy kWh. On the display tab, uncheck display bar checkbox, change the background color to light gray, uncheck display line legend checkbox, allow scrolling, uncheck display scrolling mechanism, and uncheck display pen icons. Oh gosh, okay, so. Alright, B, display bar value. Background color, light gray. Display line legend, uncheck. Allow scrolling. Display scrolling mechanism, uncheck. Display pen icons, uncheck. Apply. There we go. On the x-axis tab, change the time span to 6 minutes. Change the major grid lines to 3, minor to 1. Why? Major grid to 3, minor to 1. On the y-axis tab, change the min-max value option to preset. Change the major to 1 and minor grid to 1. Preset, major 1, minor 1. Ooh, nice. On the Trend Properties window, go to the Pens tab. On the Pens tab, PLC tags are configured as traces on the trend. This trend will have 2 pens configured. Click on the Adds Pen button to launch the expression editor. We're going to add pens. In the expression editor window, click on the Tags button to launch the tag browser. Select the tag Program Cooling mCoolUDT1 Temp Set PT Zone. I can remember that. Cooling, Program Cooling, mCoolUDT number 1 set Temp Set PT Zone. Okay. At the expression editor, confirm the expression shown below and click OK. Okay. For the newly created pen, make the following changes. Set the pen color to blue, min value to 0, max value to 80. We could scroll to the right. Oh, it'd be a way to just. Let's see if I can. Do it here. Okay, so it looks like you kind of just got to scroll here. Fortunately, there's no pop-up configuration window or anything like that. So we got the blue color, min value to 0, max value to 80. Using the previous steps 5 to 9, add the second pen with the tag cooling temp zone and set the pen to use color green with the same values, max 0 and 80. Now we should have 2 pens. Temp zone. Pens. Add pen. Tag. Temp zone. Okay. So what color do they want? Set the pen color to green, which is it is already by default, and with the min value and value of 0 and 80. Okay. Confirm the pen settings for the created trend and click OK. If you want to change the trend window color, this can be done by accessing the trend property panel. Right-click on the trend object and select the property panel. Change the window color property to the same light gray used for the chart area background color. Change the window style property to opaque. Okay. Right-click, property panel. So we want to change the background to that background, which we already have. Window style to opaque. My window color. Window style to opaque. Okay. And they used a lighter gray, but I like this darker gray. Test the display using the Test the Display button. When you are done testing, press the Stop Testing. Let's test it. See if our tag data is coming in. And it's a 6-minute display, so it's going to kind of come in a little bit slower, but you can see it coming in right there. Sweet. Save and close the display. Now we're into exercise 7. Exercise 7. Create a FactoryTalk View SE client. Objectives. In this exercise, you will complete the following tasks. Create a startup macro to manipulate screen starting positions. Create a FactoryTalk View SE client launcher. Lab procedure. In the Explorer pane of FactoryTalk View Studio, right-click on the macros object within the logic and control container and select New from the context menu. Logic and control, macros, new. Right-click, new. The macro editor will pop up. The macro editor window looks very similar to other text editor applications. In the first open line, type in the following commands, one per line: display header /DT and display overview. Tip: if you double click in the macro editor, the command wizard will pop up. This wizard allows users unfamiliar with the command functionality of View SE the ability to build commands using a graphical interface. And tip: macros are essentially a list of commands to execute in sequence. This macro will ensure the correct displays are called when a user launches the client. For those curious, the /DT switch means the display will be docked at the top of the screen. If you double click on an open area of the macro editor, it will bring up a command selector. Using the command selector, you can see all of the different commands that can be issued using a macro. Close the macro editor and save the macro as client startup. In the FactoryTalk View Studio menu bar, select the SE Client Tool Launcher or Client Launcher under Tools, Launch SE Client. In the FactoryTalk View SE Client Wizard, click the New button. I'm going to remove this one. We're going to select New. We're going to call it Cookie Client Demo. Hit Next. This is going to be a local station application. And if your app doesn't show up here, it might be because you have that wrong one selected right here. So if you select Network Distributed, it's only going to show you Network Distributed applications here. I think, why is it showing that one? Network Station. I've had that happen before. Yeah, see how it doesn't show anything here? Because we selected Network Station. So let's go to Local Station, hit Next, select the app that we want to run. In the application name window, select Cookie Demo from the dropdown and click Next. So what we're really doing here is configuring like a runtime launcher. And so it's kind of like it's just because we're developing Cookie Demo, like we could be creating a runtime launcher for another application. So that's why it asks you to specify what app you want to run, because you may have multiple that you're working on. So, and we're going to hit Next, leave all those default settings. In the Client Components window, select the Client Startup macro that was created earlier from the Startup macro dropdown and click Next. So you could set an initial display here, but by far the better thing to do is run the Client Startup macro and define your startup displays in that macro. It gives you a lot more flexibility. And Next. In the Client Properties window, change the window size in pixels to 1280 by 1024 and uncheck Allow Client to be resized at runtime. Next. On the Auto Logout window, click the Next button. On the Completion Options window, click the Finish button. The client should begin to launch. After the progress bar finishes, the client application will be displayed. Next, we're going to save and open right now. Finish should open it up. Next time when we go to this launch client, it'll already be there as a saved configuration file. We won't need to go through that process again unless we need to change some of those settings. In the client application, you can navigate between displays that you've created and navigate between overview, cooling, and alarm display. So here we have the application. You see it open up the header, docked it north, and open up this main display overview. So here's our cooling page. Here's our trend. Here's our display, numeric display. Here's our alarm screen. I haven't put anything there yet. So this concludes exercise 7. Exercise 8, configure alarms. Objectives. In this exercise, you will complete the following tasks. Create a FactoryTalk alarm and event server. Create a tag-based alarm. Create an alarm banner object with an existing display on an existing display. And create an alarm summary object on an existing display. And acknowledge a currently active alarm from the PLC. Why this is important. Alarms provide the operator to identify and react to abnormal conditions. Enunciating alarm conditions saves time, maintains safety, and increases production runtime. Operators interact with FactoryTalk-based alarms in several ways. The alarm banner object, the alarm summary object, and alarm-based animations of the display object. Lab procedure. Creating a FactoryTalk alarm and events server. The FTAE, FactoryTalk Alarm and Events server, is a program that runs on an HMI computer, constantly monitoring PLC tags for alarm conditions. Adding an alarm server is a one-time configuration, after which individual alarm conditions can be added to the server while it is in production. In the FactoryTalk View Studio Explorer pane, right-click on the cookie demo application and select Add New Server, Tag Alarm and Event Server. Right-click, Add New Server, Tag Alarm and Event Server. We're going to name it Cookie Alarms and hit OK. In the resulting pop-up window, click OK. In the Explorer pane, click to expand the newly created cookie alarm server. Double-click on the alarm and event setup. A small progress bar window will display, and after a few seconds, it will show up. Expand a cookie alarm and event setup. Configuring alarms. The alarm and event setup editor is the primary tool for creating and modifying alarms. Depending on the alarm type, different properties will be available in the editor. There are three primary alarm types: digital on and off alarms, deviation alarms, and level alarms. For this lab, we will stick with a digital and a level alarm. There are also two types of alarm sources: HMI tag-based alarms and device-based alarms. Device-based alarms are built in the ControlLogix controller using a specific ALMA and ALMD instructions. Tag-based alarms can originate from any PLC tag value. In the Tag Alarm and Event Setup window, click on the New Alarm button in the top left corner and select Digital from the dropdown. In the Digital Alarm Properties window, set the name to Cooling Zone Drive Alarm. Set the message to Cooling Conveyor Drive has faulted. Check HMI mounted at cabinet SC107 and severity 500. Click on the ellipsis button for the input tag field. The tag browser object will appear. Select Program Cooling Alarm Control 4. Cookie line, online, program cooling, alarm control, number 4. In the input tag field, the name of the tag selected should appear. Because we need to reference it a single bit, add 0.1 to the end of the tag name. Click OK at the bottom of the Digital Alarm Properties window and click Save. OK. Properties. Okay. Hit Save. Alarm display objects. Alarms can be monitored using two main display objects: the alarm summary object and the alarm banner. These objects provide a viewer that can show alarms sorted by severity, time of alarm, etc. They are powerful tools for managing alarm conditions. Open the header display using the Explorer pane. Use the menu bar and select the alarm banner tool. Close this. Open our header display. Objects, alarm and event. Banner. Create an alarm banner object in the display area. Hit OK. The banner should be shown on the header display. Click Save and Close on the header display. Use the Explorer pane to open the alarms display, and then add the alarm summary. Close this. Say yes. Open our alarm screen back up. And here we'll drop the alarm summary. Nice and big. And here we're just going to hit OK. We're going to leave the default configuration. The less that I configure, the happier I am. So that is nice. Save and close the alarms display. Launch the FactoryTalk View SE client, and this can be done from Tools, Launch SE Client. Select the cookie demo client configuration we created earlier and hit Run. After some time, the client window will be displayed. You may see some alarms in the banner. These alarms are device-based alarms configured directly in the PLC. The alarm servers listen to these alarms because the PLC was configured in the data server configuration from exercise 2. When the client application is running, or when a display is in test mode, the alarm banner should have a green icon in the bottom left corner of the banner. This indicates a healthy connection to the alarm server. In advanced FactoryTalk configurations, the HMI may not be on the same computer as the alarm server. Navigate to the alarm display in the View SE client. If there are no alarm events in the system, you will see the following image. Go ahead and launch this. Close this window. Save, yes. Have this. Close that window. Note the green icon at the bottom left of the banner and the summary window. There are no events, so the alarm objects are waiting for alarm events. Navigate to the cooling display. Click on the toggle cooling alarm button at the bottom left of the display. In a few seconds, you should see the alarm displayed in the alarm banner on the top of the client screen. The red bell icon indicates that the alarm is still active and has not been acknowledged. After a few seconds, the alarm will automatically be rectified. Notice how it would eventually disappear from the alarm banner. This happens because even though the alarm condition has been rectified, it still needs to be acknowledged by a supervisor. Navigate to the alarm display. If the alarm does not clear within 15 seconds, you can manually clear the alarm by clicking on the toggle cooling alarm button on the display once again. The alarm condition has been rectified, but note that the alarm still shows up in the alarm summary. Go ahead and do that. Cooling tunnel high speed. So let's go to cooling. Toggle cooling alarm. And we have the cooling drive fault alarm. Go to the alarm page. Select the alarm in the alarm summary object and click Acknowledge Alarm button. Acknowledge selected alarm. Acknowledge selected. Okay. With the alarm condition rectified and the alarm acknowledged, the cooling conveyor drive alarm disappears from the alarm summary object. If historical logging was enabled, the alarm history viewer could be used to view Review alarms over a period of time. This concludes exercise 8. Exercise 9. Using FactoryTalk Viewpoint with FactoryTalk View SE. 5 minutes. In this exercise, you will complete the following tasks. Configure the FactoryTalk Viewpoint portal from a web browser. Navigate a FactoryTalk Viewpoint application. Why it's important. FactoryTalk Viewpoint provides a web-based portal for access to a FactoryTalk View application. This can be useful for remote monitoring of production systems or for users that don't necessarily need access to all the functions of the View SE client. Lab procedure. Use the Start menu to launch the FactoryTalk Viewpoint administration portal. Start all programs, Rockwell Software, FactoryTalk Viewpoint Administration Portal. The first time it loads, it may take a second. Software, FactoryTalk Viewpoint Administration. While we're waiting, here is some important information about Viewpoint. FactoryTalk Viewpoint is an add-on to FactoryTalk View that extends visualization and real-time decision capabilities to browser-based remote users, including plant managers, supervisors, or mobile workers. With FactoryTalk Viewpoint, critical information of plant floor operations can now be easily accessed and monitored from virtually any location and virtually any device. As of version 8.10, FactoryTalk Viewpoint leverages HTML5 technology, which opens up connectivity across common types of mobile devices and modern browsers. Whether you're using Internet Explorer on an operator workstation, Safari on an iPad, or Google Chrome on a Samsung Galaxy Tab, a web browser is all that is needed to gain access to a web-enabled application. The available functionality and feature set in this release remains the same as it was with previous technology, Microsoft Silverlight. But from what it sounds like, they're no longer using Microsoft Silverlight, which is good. It's HTML5. So a FactoryTalk Viewpoint web application consists of graphic displays selected from an existing FactoryTalk View application, converted for viewing in a web browser, then published to a FactoryTalk Viewpoint server, also called the web server. For site edition applications, the FactoryTalk Viewpoint server runs on a desktop or server computer. For machine edition applications, a Panel View Plus, Panel View Plus 6, or Panel View Plus 7 standard operator terminal functions as the server. You will eventually see a web browser open with the Viewpoint Administration portal. And here we are. Click on Publish Displays to Web button. In the resulting web page, select Site Edition Local from the Application Type dropdown and select Cookie Demo from the Application dropdown. Finally, click Select Graphics Display button. There we go, already selected. Select Graphic Displays. On the Select Displays web page, click the radio button to set the header as the initial display. Select the client startup from the Startup Macro drop-down list and click Publish Displays button. So here we're going to actually make the header the initial display, and the Startup Macro, we're going to use Client Startup. We're going to leave Republish all selected displays selected, and we're going to publish displays. Here we are. On the Publish Display web page, the progress bar will eventually complete, and the status of each display should be shown as done. Click on the Open Web Application button. The web browser will spawn a second browser tab. and the FactoryTalk View application will launch in this second window. The FactoryTalk Viewpoint Administration Console allows you to publish displays to the web, configure security, set up activations, view server settings, and access the online help. Navigate between the three screens that have been created. This is the view of the desktop view of the viewpoint. So it looks like I have an error on my information server services setup. So I don't think we'll be able to demo this last part of it. But that would probably be just as simple as like internet services, ISS is not, role is not enabled or something like that. So I'm definitely going to talk to Rockwell about this, let them know that there might be an issue with this VM instance. And, but yeah, I mean, basically, assuming that's set up correctly, assuming you've gone through the installation process, or you used, like Rockwell has virtual appliance images that you can just load into your virtual server. Like, let's say you have VMware, you can drop in like a FactoryTalk View, server VM, historian VM. Like, you can just drop these in, and all the software is already pre-configured. You just license it. So that could save a lot of time and prevent software installation mistakes. But yeah, I know always the web server is kind of a tricky one with any platform. So as of Viewpoint 8.1, a new mobile device interface is offered with the easier navigation between displays published to Viewpoint. Navigate to the URL http://localhost ftvp/m. Something up with my, like, accessing this VM, like somehow the control key gets stuck or something. I'm not even able to type. Okay, here we go. ftvp/m. Oh, here we go. Bam. Oh, that's working. I don't know why I didn't like that original link. Okay, so let's go localhost ftvp/m. Okay, so it is working. We just need to refresh or something. If you are targeting mobile platforms with the FactoryTalk View, you can use one of Chrome's built-in features to set the browser to the right size, to the browser window's right size to mobile devices known resolution. Click on the Windows size icon in the top right. In the resulting list, select 1280 by 768 iPad. That's pretty cool. This is really cool. This is a cool extension. Click on the overview link with the iPad resolution setting. Your overview screen should look as follows. Oh, that is so cool. Using the same method, change the resolution to 640 by 960 iPhone. Screen should look as follows. Tip: if you know you will have users looking at Viewpoint from mobile devices, you can create screens specifically for those users or change the default resize behavior of displays. This concludes all the exercises for the FactoryTalk View Site Edition Introductory Lab. Thank you for your time and your participation. So that was it, guys. Just over an hour and a half. I felt like, at points it was pretty like, seems like mundane. Like, these are things that should be kind of obvious, but definitely, like I said, I learned a few things the first time I set up Viewpoint. I know I'm gonna have to be working on an application that's using FactoryTalk Viewpoint, so that was useful to go through. Really easy, like just a few buttons. It was probably pretty intuitive if you're setting it up for the first time, but I think like you guys being able to watch the video, being able to pause, play back, listen to it again, hopefully is pretty useful. So let me know if you guys found value in this. I really do appreciate and like it if you did. Get subscribed. Catch me in another video, but I'll be doing more videos for Rockwell, for other platforms, so stay tuned for that. And I also do some other random stuff, so if like hiking and different things like that. So check that out if you're interested. If not, no big deal. Just if you guys want to just use these Rockwell videos or whatever, fine by me. The more value I can provide to you guys, the better off I am. So that's it. I'm going to go ahead and end this video here. Thank you guys again, and we'll see you guys in another video. Peace.